God has spoken. Let the church say amen. Stay tuned. We'll talk about it. Friend, God bless you this morning. Thank you for joining me on Morning Nuggets. This is yours truly, Pastor Nate, and I pray that this exhortation finds you well this morning. It is my pleasure when I can come and speak to you. Yes, let's talk about it. God has spoken. Let the church say amen. When God has spoken, when God's will has been declared, it's time to let it go and move on. We are talking about the president 45 not willing to concede. And we were talking about concede, that basically means to surrender or to admit that the opponent won. It's customary that when presidents run and one wins and the other one loses, the one who loses would pick up the phone or call and congratulate or just make a speech, a concession speech, to admit that, hey, I didn't win. Thank you all. Thank you, my supporters. We see in this situation here that is not the case.
We want the law to be used in a proper manner. So we'll be going to the U.S. Supreme Court.
He's not really allowing there to be a peaceful transfer of power. We see that Biden is already hitting the ground running and telling us what his plan is when he's sworn in. But it doesn't look like it's going to be easy. But when God says time is up, time is up.
Tomorrow will be the first time in my life I don't have anything to do.
My congratulations to Senator Kennedy for his fine race in this campaign, and to all of you.
This brings me to a situation in the Bible. Y'all remember King Saul, and you saw it on my thumbnail. King Saul did the same thing. King Saul was the first king of Israel, but God gave him instructions and told him to do something. But King Saul didn't follow God's instructions all the way through. In essence, he disobeyed God. And as a result of that, God rejected him. In other words, God said, I no longer want you to be king. If you can't follow what I told you to do, you're disobedient. I reject you. No. So he anoints King David to be king of Israel. King David wasn't king immediately because Saul did not want to get off the throne. Yes, Saul wanted to keep going. So there were some years that passed by when David actually operated in the capacity of a king because Saul didn't want to concede. Saul didn't want to allow David to be king. He wanted to keep on working even though God had rejected him. And that's what we see right here. And friend, if we look at our life, there are some things that we should have conceded. You know, maybe it's some relationships, maybe it's some jobs, maybe it's a position, you know, deep down that God told you to let things go. It might be, you know, your church might be involved and you still trying to hold on to it. And if you let things go, maybe God would open some doors for you. Listen, tonight at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, the Smart Show will be live. Yes, since I talked about demons and demonology and demonic activity, this series, I want to open up tonight by talking about angelic intervention. Yes, friend, you got angels fighting for you. You got angels on your behalf. There are many purposes that angels have. There are different types of angels. We're going to talk about angels during this next series. I don't know if it'll be 3 parts or 4 parts, but I want you to come on in tonight on the Smart Show at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. I know we've been having some issues with notifications, so set that alarm. And I want you to come in and share your thoughts. If you have any questions, we're going to talk about angels. Yes. So thank you again. In the meantime, in between time, be at peace and not in pieces. And I will see you tonight.